Hold on. I wasn't recording. Act like it was an original joke. All right, you weren't showing up on my OBS because you're both BS. Oh! Got him. Totally original. Totally didn't say it before I started rolling. So there. Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Do a barrel roll.
How dare you, Johnny? Get that fucking shit out of here. Hey, welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky. Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
I'm Michael.
I'm Johnny.
And we make up Anime Casuals. What is it, Solar Flare? Is that what the fuck that shit is? I can't remember what the fucking thing for that shit is, but anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Anime Casual and welcome back to the Casual Discussion. Today we will be talking about the worst couples in anime. Now this is, of course, another very subjective topic. Unless you take us, when we actually say these things, it's very objective and there's no arguing with us. There's no like other opinions. I don't want to hear it because what we say is the truth and that is final. But yeah, Johnny, since you ended up, putting this one out there, you want to go ahead and give us the first one, your first
Yeah,
couple?
sure.
Welcome back to Truth Casuals.
Which one do I want to talk about first? Yeah, sure. This one isn't really a couple, to be honest.
Whoa.
But if they were
come
gonna
on.
be a
Already
couple,
breaking the rules on number one.
hey, my topic, my rules.
Okay.
I do
okay.
whatever I want.
That's true. That's true. I mean, he is a casual.
No, actually, that's funny enough. It's the last on my list, so I just thought of it recently. But it's I don't remember her name, but it's a racer and the
Joker?
the laughing
Joker?
Yeah, Joker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw them and I was like, I could see that, but I think that'd also be really weird. I don't know. That seems like one of those things like, oh, they'd be perfect together. And
On a
I don't know.
sitcom.
I don't think they would be. I don't think that would work out for a racer. Might work out for Joker, but yeah, no. I don't think a racer would like it.
As we'll probably hear of some couples on this list, that's how sometimes anime figures out couples, where they're like, hey, you like him, and he kind of doesn't care. That means you're going to be a couple by the end of the anime.
Oh, wow. That's great segue, man. So next couple is going to be fucking... Okay, so this is like the number one on one of the lists out there. Like, I was looking up like the most popular, like the top anime couples instead of the worst anime couples because I knew I was going to disagree with most of them. And number one on this list was the Goku and Chi-Chi. And I have to completely disagree. The main reason is Goku's a fucking idiot. And all he does is not listen to Chi-Chi. I think there's a moment in the anime where he straight up slaps her. He slaps her too hard by accident, but he straight up slaps her into something. He doesn't give a shit about his kid. I mean, he barely gives a shit about his kid until his kid actually gets powerful enough to actually, be given a shit about. And I mean, if anything, Chi-Chi's the one holding down that house, and you don't really see her all that much. So, if anything, Bulma and Vegeta are a much better couple than Goku and Chi-Chi. You know what I mean? Like they actually have like struggles that they go through. They actually have certain things that are highlighted. But in Goku and Chi-Chi, they were kind of like, oh yeah, well we already dealt with all this stuff in Dragon Ball, so we'll just can it for Dragon Ball Z. It's like, no, we want to see more. We want to see a little bit more. And it makes, Chi-Chi always look like a fucking bitch because she's always trying to get, hey, go on, study. He's like, no, I want to go save the world and possibly die. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? Whose son are you? Oh, Goku shit. So a little bit of obviously I wouldn't have them break up or anything like that now. But, if they hadn't gotten grandfather claused into that relationship, then I probably would have been like, yo, this couple's so stupid. But anyway.
I mean, in addition, I think at one point, Goku doesn't even know what a kiss is. So, like, Lucky is absolutely... I agree. This is the truth here, as Lucky said. Like, at certain points, they don't even show them to be loving towards each other. Like, Lucky was saying, because she's also on my list. They're also on my list. Like Chi-Chi's constantly yelling at him. Goku doesn't give any shits about the relationship, and he constantly leaves for months or years at a time, and only focus on getting more powerful. Doesn't mean that like.
No, you go ahead. I'm just putting it up so I remember.
Okay, and that's the whole thing, dude. Vegeta and Bulma there's many moments where Vegeta shows his love. Yeah, Johnny.
So I was gonna say Bulma and Vegeta was the worst couple, versus Goku and Chi-Chi. But after hearing you guys, I think Chi-Chi and Goku might be the better couple. Reasoning because just like you guys said, Goku doesn't care. I mean, he leaves all the time. I mean, they have a kid and then they have another kid, so there's got to be something there. But I mean, the biggest thing is he comes back. Every time we see Vegeta at, home, Bulma's home, Bulma's nowhere to be found. I feel like that's like the mansion thing. Like husband goes off to this side and the wife goes over here and they never speak unless they're forced to because Goku's having a barbecue or he's coming back from yard trip.
Interesting. Yeah, I think technically Goten's adopted, if I'm not mistaken. I think they adopted him because they found him. He just happens to have the same fucking hairstyle as Goku, right? I'd never understood that, but but yeah, no, I mean I think that's a pretty good point. I guess it would depend on what you mean. Both of the, let's just be clear here. None of those are ideal.
What?
Yeah,
Gohan and Videl are almost better because at least they fight crime together.
Oh, dude, no, they are way better, dude. Holy shit, they are so much better. But yeah, I think either way, if you look at both of them, they're not the ideal. None of them are the ideal relationship, right? But
and what a wonderful segue to mine because
there you go.
I'm gonna cover another hot button since we're covering some like top either great or terrible couples, and I've seen these two on both of them. And we're going to talk about Sasuke and Sakura and Naruto.
Damn you, that was mine.
Naruto, like this weird love triangle that exists when they were kids, less so when they're adults, is super weird. None of them should be with any of them. Like Sasuke like Sakura or Sakura like Sasuke for the same reason like most like terrible relationship starts in an anime. He's the bad boy and super smart. And so like she likes him and he returns no love. And Naruto is like, oh well, she's really pretty, so I like her too, and then she's really nice, and it's all terrible. Sasuke and Sakura has no reason to get with each other the entire time. He's literally tried to kill her 3 times. It's the most abusive relationship there is. And then eventually, just by the end, it's like, and they're happy and they have a kid.
See, that's like worst case scenario of Goku. If he like left and then just said never came back, just never stopped by, didn't do anything, and just almost just was just like, I'll come back later.
I'm gonna put the nail in that coffin because that relationship's so bad. Was it her name Sarada? She doesn't even know what her dad looks like. Like. It's so, and she is convinced.
To expand on that, like he didn't know what she looked like either.
Yeah. And she's like what, like 13, 12? Like she's around Naruto's age back in before Shippuden, and that's terrible. That means he hasn't been around like in like 10 to 15 years. That's ridiculous. And even on top of that, like she was like, no way it could be this guy. She must have had a kid with this guy, and she's like making all these like crazy relationship theories, and I'm like, guy, I get like when you came back for 1 second you were very loving, but you should be around sometimes, like care for your family. Gross.
Oh hey, that was a good pick. And that's the segue because everybody in Handshakers is a terrible all awful. I thought about it. The first one is just a masochist couple. It's the one dude just stepping on the chick's crotch. That's terrible. Like that's the guy with the
chains, right? Where he chains her up and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane. Then you got the next chick, our not chick, but our main characters, which are, oh hey, she looks like my sister. I want to be with her. That's not great. And then you have the other couple, which is the brother sister, who are like, oh hey, let's love each other and go on vacations all the time and just be weird. Everybody in that show is just not a good couple. There's more, and I just don't even remember. I just had to stop there. They're all messed up.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's that the guy with his boss, but she looks like a total like lolly. So she looks like she's like 5 years old, but she's actually his boss and shit. And he always has to like explain to people, like he always acts like he's her boss, and she always gets pissed off. But I'm like, she looks really young, man. That's not okay. I'm sorry. There's a certain point where somebody looks really young. You know, it's cool if they're like 30 and they look 22, but if they're like 28 and they look 13, I mean, there's a big difference between those two. And you know, you should respect the laws, man. Yeah, there's a big height difference with that.
Is that a segue to what you're going to talk about, Lucky?
Actually, not really.
Okay, good.
So since you took when you took mine for Naruto, Michael, I decided to go with another one, like really last minute. But this is another couple that I looked at and I was like, how the fuck did that happen? Choji and Karui, who, if you guys don't remember who Karui is, she is the girl from the Hidden Cloud Village who beats the shit out of Naruto after the Pain saga because she's trying to find Sasuke because she still thinks that he captured the real B, and this is before we know that, you know, B got the fuck out of there. But anyway, Choji ends up with this girl Karui, and I'm like, they didn't even explain it in Shippuden, dude. Not whatsoever. They explained Shikamaru and Tamari. Hell, they even explained Ino and what the fuck is Sai.
About that.
And
I didn't understand that one.
You know, at least they kind of like hinted at it. With Choji, he was still fucking filling his face and no Karui to be found. And I'm like, how did this fucking happen, dude? How did this happen? And then when you see, you know,
there between meals.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it was like when you see the show, right? There's some filler episodes that the manga never goes over, but you know, that show them together, and you're kind of like, the fuck is this couple, man? The fuck, dude, he gets along better with his daughter than he does his wife because his daughter's fat as shit too. So they just eat everything, and I'm just like, dude, I do not get this couple whatsoever, man. I don't get it at all, and it was never explained to me, and I don't accept it, but I accept it a little bit more than Sakura and Sasuke. So
yeah,
it's a mystery.
I have one. I guess I'll cover two real quick. One's a very obvious one, and one's not. I'm going to cover the shipping one because there's too many people out there on these lists who talk about Lelouch and C2 from Code Geass. And I tell you, I don't care what they look like. They're not a relationship. They're a bond, a forever like partners in crime. But they're not going to sleep together, and they're not going to have a kid together or anything like that because that's not their partnership. Throughout the series of Code Geass, you see these two just working off each other constantly to form like this super pact that they're going to annihilate the world and make sure there's no evil. I'm like, okay, cool, but that's not a couple. They're not a couple. They're a partnership. And that leads me to a very obvious one of worst couple is Endeavor and his wife. I mean, obviously, that didn't work out at all. And that is mentally abusive, physically abusive, even to his kids. And that family, luckily, we see in the more the recent seasons, or the most recent season, he's making amends. He's working back to it, looking like a loving father. But oh my goodness, was that a terrible thing that was like uncovered in Todoroki's backstory? Just going, yeah, my mom burned my face, and my mom and dad only had me out of the sake to make a superpowered kid.
I mean, they succeeded, right? You know.
But I mean, it is a couple because there's a little bit of love there.
just a
Did
smidgen,
they inadvertently just spread ice and fire powers?
What?
Did they like inadvertently just spread those powers because they have like 5 kids?
I mean, yeah. Now that yes, they did.
Okay. Anyway, it was a thought I had. I was like, the earth is slowly turning cold. My next pick is from oh my god, why am I mixing up the title now? Chunibyo. I'm just gonna say that.
Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions.
God, that's it. I wanted to
Yeah.
throw death in there. I don't know. Like Love, Death, and Robots. That's why I was confused. I don't know.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
I feel like that main couple, if they can make it like the next, like, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, maybe they could do something. But I don't know. I feel like they're too much like, kind of like what you were saying. They're gonna team up to face evil, but there's not much evil to fight in the real world, and so they can't really do any of the things that they say. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for that to kind of crash and burn, but I don't know. I didn't watch the movie. Maybe there's something more in that. We're never gonna find out.
Because he's never watching the movie.
No, I will watch the movie someday.
Oh man, dude, that actually
In
might be
years.
the most controversial pick on this because that's like a main couple. I think it's
Yeah, I know.
like the only like real big main couple on this.
I don't know. They just seem like they have too much fun together versus
I'm-
like being a couple.
I'm trying to think about. Oh man, there's a lot of picks here I could choose.
I'm gonna have to go through some joke ones soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna choose. This is a very interesting one. It's from Durarara. It's Celti and Shinra. Celti is the Dualahan on a motorcycle, and Shinra is this geeky guy who, when he was growing up, his father found this Dualahan, and they made an agreement like, hey, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's like, I'll keep your secret or I'll like give you money or something like that if you let me experiment on you. And so his dad is just straight up cutting this bitch up, right? Because she regenerates and shit. So this little kid is watching her get cut the fuck up, and then like one day he decides, I'm in love with that, I'm in love with you. And, I'm just like, okay, first off, if you guys do get married, I mean, your father-in-law literally dissected this bitch for like years. You're also, he's like, she knew him when he was like 15. It's kind of like Padme and Anakin, where like Padme was like, I mean, what, maybe 17 and he was like 8, and you're like, and then all of a sudden he got a lot older and she's like, wow, you really grew. It's like, that doesn't change the fact that you knew him when he was a fucking kid. Okay, that's kind of weird. And yeah, dude, that one kind of threw me off a little bit. Also, I mean, she's a Dualahan, so it's like, I mean, do you take her head and you make out with that while you do stuff with her body and like hold her up like that, or like what do you do? It's kind of weird, And I don't know. There's certain things that have to come into play. That's funny enough. That's not the weirdest part about this whole thing. It's just it just is what it is, and I can't accept the fact that his father's already done a bunch of experiments on her. I mean, he's seen her naked more times than he has probably at this point. And yeah, I mean, I just don't get that relationship like whatsoever. So yeah, do you guys want to do one more round and then we'll do a lightning round, or do you want to do the lightning round right now?
I only got one left.
Let's do one more round and then a lightning round between Lucky and I.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm gonna end my official picks with a controversial one. We have Tatsumi, and is it mine or Mine?
Oh shit.
The pumpkin girl.
Yeah. You're talking about from
In
Comic
the
Got
dub, they
Kill?
call her mine.
Mine. Yeah, from a comic
Yeah,
kill.
yeah.
I'm gonna keep it short. Tatsumi should have been with the Esteth. So you know what? Like, I'm sorry, mine. Like, it was something cute that was beautiful, but he's got to be with Esteth, and he's got to go be dead with Esteth, and that would have been the correct choice, and we would all love that. And Lucky would have been happy. Johnny would have been happy. The whole world would have been happy just to get that out of here. Yep.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, it was a little rushed too, right? Like it didn't.
yeah.
It wasn't like they hated each other, and then all of a sudden one day they're just like, "I love you." It's like, what the fuck is this, man? At least Death put the fucking moves on him, bro. Like she made it obvious. Like she had she had like the plane things going to her fucking crotch. Like, there we go, right here, slide in right there, please.
Yeah.
It's like damn.
And you know what? Like, I'm glad that a lot of anime that I like doesn't do the obvious pairings. Like, I'm okay with an Ochaku and a Deku. That's okay. Like, that's cool because, they're not overly infatuated with each other. They're just like, to me, like the correct amount for kids in high school who are working to attain their dream. This one was very much like you said, Lucky. It was like, hey, he doesn't belong in Night Raid. Like, get him out of here. Oh, I love him. It's like, okay, got it. Okay, weird. I mean, I'm okay with opposites like each other, but come on. Johnny, take us out of that.
So my last pick, and admittedly, as I think about it, I might be forgetting some detail.
I've got
but-
10 more picks.
Oh yeah, there's a whole list. I didn't scroll. But but it's Kill la Kill. One thing that just doesn't totally make sense to me is what's her name? Ragu. I keep not wanting to say like ragu, like the pasta. Ragu Kiryuin and
He said it. He's gonna say it.
why can't I remember her dad, who's like a hunchback old man.
I see. Well,
I
okay, yeah,
I
go
didn't
for it.
understand how that worked. So that's really
Okay,
it.
you did forget some details. He made himself that way to disguise himself. He literally
Okay.
broke like broke his back, which I mean nobody explained that, but he did actually look pretty normal before that, you know. But
Okay.
either way, I mean
That
it,
does make
it
a lot more sense. I was
I
like,
mean,
I don't
but
know how
yeah, I
that
mean
works.
he didn't look crazy good or anything, so I don't know. Maybe maybe that personality though, maybe that personality though, man. I don't
I
know.
guess so.
But yeah, I mean, he didn't look like supermodel status, and her mom, dude. Whoo, damn! When that fucking German singing comes on, bro, you start busting them nuts. But it's
Technicolor Dreamcoat.
let me see here. All right, so we got the lightning round going here. I got a couple more here.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
Definitely different from the disguise.
yeah. They still, dude. That disguise looked really painful. He literally just gave himself scoliosis and just fucking, and just
Like
grew
that's
a beard.
absurd.
I don't remember
And
how the
lost
fuck
an eye
Yeah, well, I don't remember how that happened, but yeah. Either way,
because he's got an eye patch. I don't know.
yeah. Anyway, so my last ones are, let's see here, Shaggy and Rayleigh from One Piece. It's not that they're worst couple. It's like Rayleigh's kind of just always out of there, and he's always she even admits like he kind of just disappears and sleeps around, and she doesn't give a shit. Which I guess if you want to say, I mean, in some circles that's actually kind of okay, right? It's like they have freedom, they have trust, they have all that kind of stuff. It depends on how you look at the relationship, but that's kind of why I didn't put it on my main list. It was just one of those things where I looked at it, I was like, that's kind of a weird couple. I'll be real with you. They're mostly business partners, if anything else. But they do show affection for each other every now and then. But if anything, I just think Rayleigh's a little bit of like one step in, one step out of that thing. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Which I guess if you were part of the biggest fucking pirate group in history, you might want to do that anyway. So, but let's check out the next one. Yuki and Kaname. This is from Vampire Knight. I am spoiling a huge part of this Vampire Knight. So if you guys don't give a shit, or you guys shouldn't give a shit. This is a terrible series. Anyway, it was basically like Twilight with a lot more incest, and so there's this main character, and she's always in love with this guy, and she's like, oh my god, he's so. He's protected me ever since I was little. And funny thing about that, he's your older brother, and they don't explain that until the last season that came out, which was the third season. And then all of a sudden they get together, and somebody asks the guy, they're just like, so you're just gonna get with your sister? And he's like, I mean, it's pretty common in royal vampire families. And she looked at him like, you're right. And I was just like, no, shut up. Stop it. Stop your bullshit. Let's go to the next one. Kagura and Kyo. This isn't an official couple, but it was a couple. It was kind of trying to be a couple in Fruits Basket. And it's when the girl that's possessed by the zodiac spirit of the boar falls in love with the guy who is possessed by the cat, which isn't a zodiac spirit, but it is in the series, just for weird reference. But anyway, she goes fucking hard and beats the shit out of this guy every single time, just because they all incorporate some form of their animal self. So like pigs get really obsessed with shit, she gets really obsessed with him, and she's just like, why do you keep running away from me? And then she beats the shit out of him, and then she's like, why do you keep running away from me? And then beats the shit out of him. Then there's Risa and Otani from Lovely Complex, which is a short guy fall in love with a tall girl, who's also voiced by Nami, by the way. But this guy doesn't get any hints. I don't like Otani whatsoever. He literally is a fucking dick to this girl for the majority of this anime, and then ends up with her. And I'm like, okay, I know that was going to happen, but I mean, you could have made him a little less sticky. And the last one is Mine and Motoyasu from Shield Hero, dude. I cannot stand that. That is one of the most annoying couples ever. I mean, I granted it's like part of a harem, but I still think it's fucking like, he stood by her when she tried to do all this stuff. Yeah, and then just seeing the mother put him in his place. All right, I'm gonna put the slave contract on her, and let's see if she's lying. You're not lying, right? Mine. Why do you look scared? Mine. What's going on? What's going on here? So maybe I should change my pick to Motoyasu and Bitch, because that's her new name now. So
Good.
yeah.
That I was about to correct you. I'm like, no, she doesn't get a real name. I got a few to get to run through. Some of them are jokey, some of them are ships. We'll start with the most toxic of all of them, Misa and Light from Death Note.
Yeah.
Misa is a pop star that Light, who is our main protagonist, uses at some point and cares like he cares nothing for her at all. And she is absolutely infatuated with him because he saved her life at some point. And it's super unhealthy. Like she's basically okay with him using her at any point and is okay with him not loving her back. And it's just kind of gross the entire time. We have Brock and all the Jennies and Joys in the world. Because come on, man. Go find a girl. We have Ash and Missy, which is a ship couple. I don't think it's ever official because Ash never ages.
No, I saw the Pornhub video. They're
oh
real.
yeah, you did.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not great. I mean, Ash is exactly like Sasuke, who he's gonna be leaving all the time to go be the Pokemon master, never come back, never be the father to his kid. You know, he's just gonna go on all the adventures and die out in the world of Pokemon, and be fed to Pikachu. Okay, we have Tai and Sora from Digimon. I really enjoy them, but at times it obviously appears like Tai cares more about his hobbies than Sora himself. As an example, that in the official series, Matt eventually swooped up Sora, and Tai never got with her, and that always kind of made me sad.
It's all about Mimi and Joe, bro. Mimi and Joe,
Mimi and
son.
Joe!
Mimi and Joe.
We have Saiji and Akane from Love Tyrant. Johnny, if you remember, okay, you both remember. Akane is the red-haired one, and Saiji is the main male protagonist of the show. And constantly she's stabbing him in the gut as the OG tsundere herself, because he's like kind of close to another lady. Not even like kissing or doing anything else, just that he appears to be in a relationship with somebody. She will go straight out, stab him, and try to kill him. And if he wasn't immortal, that would be terrible. My last two are Yugi and Taya, which today I just realized her name's Taya Gardner. It's just Tea Garden. Wow.
Wow, way to ruin my childhood, man.
Tea Garden.
Yeah, Tea Gardner. Anyways, they have a very productive friendship, but not so much of a good relationship. And I also like frown upon it because Yugi's trying to be the king of games. He's got no time for ladies. You know, he's got to go beat everybody. He can't settle down yet. He's got to go beat up Kaiba. He's got to go save the world from the virtual dragons. And just you gotta slow the roll. Wait till he's 50.
Yeah. Also, I mean, she's into the Pharaoh. She's not even into Yugi himself, like for the most part.
Exactly.
And it's like kind of like if Black Widow liked only the Hulk instead of like the guy behind the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, can you just turn it? Wasn't there a College Humor one where it's like she's trying to get the Hulk angry so she can get fucked by the Hulk? Oh my god.
And then my last one, kind of toxic, but also kind of healthy relationship is Haru and Louis from Beastars. It's hard for me to say it's the worst couple, but it's definitely not healthy because they're both using each other for various reasons. Even though it kind of has a productive, joyful moment to it, it's just not my favorite couple. I'll put it to you that way. Johnny, do you have any last moment ones?
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you go.
There we
that was we actually had a lot more than I thought we were gonna have, to be real with you. Because the problem is a lot of these aren't official. When they do it in the animes, and it's like, hey, this person kind of likes this person, but will they ever be together? We don't give a shit because we're not that kind of anime. Bye.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god. But as always, guys, don't forget you can check out all things casual in the link tree in the description box down below. Also, if you'd like to email us, you can email us at animecasuals with an S, real REAL @gmail.com. But never forget to keep
casual.